Greetings everyone, my name is FlareBlitzed here, and we've returned back to the mystery files of Detective Inaba No.2. This is the second game in the trilogy series. It appears our suicide victim was actually murdered. He was strangled to death. Dr. Hiruma estimated his time of death at around 11 PM last night. I will have to question the residents of the mansion about their whereabouts and activities during that time. Objective: ask the residents about their alibis. Cool, we shall do that. But also we got Ayamura's notes. Mr. Rindo Sakaki's murder. Okay, so the victim was Mr. Rindo Sakaki, so the father of the family. Manner of death: strangled to death by rope. Oh dear. Date of death: September the 9th, 11 PM. Hung body from ceiling. Staged to look like suicide. Window shows no signs of being used. Likeliness of it being a third party is slim. Yes. Anyone could be the murder. For all we know, Sogo Inaba could be it. Okay, Mr. Windows Win found Mr. Sakaki's will inside desk drawer in Mr. Sakaki's room. Will left everything to Miss Sakura, oldest daughter. Comes as a shock to family, especially those who are just so bloody selfish about it. Miss Sakura wants nothing to do with family business. Family questions Will's authenticity. Well, if the wife says that it is his handwriting and therefore it is the will of the father and not something that was forged by somebody else to look like his handwriting. But then again, we may never know these things. So, okay, so we've got different rooms which we can just simply go to, and this map is an excellent feature to allow us to go to all these flashing images, flashiness. Basically, let's start from top to bottom and go from the first floor all the way up to the second floor. Shall we do that? Capiche? Well, not like you guys have any sort of contribution towards the video, aside watching it of course and leaving your feedback of course. Hey Mr. Investigator, how's it going? I have to ask, where were you and what were you doing last night at 11 PM? Oh, are you interviewing us for alibis? I see, just like a real detective. Just tell me what were you doing if you'd please. I will, no need to rush. At the time I was reading a book I borrowed from Tsumaki. It was extremely engrossing. You should also give it a read one of these days. That's not an alibi. It isn't? Oh, actually, before that I tucked my little sister Aoi to bed at 9 PM. And that's when I went back to my bedroom and started reading that book. Can you think of anything else I should know? Well, you should know my dad hasn't been eating meals with us for a while now. Furthermore, he rarely even leaves his room. I can't say when we last saw him. I guess it's accurate to say he avoids us. Or somebody has been purposely engrossing his head to avoid the family. So, to avoid the family. Does your father not get along with everyone? It'd be much simpler to say that not only does Dad hate everyone here, but the feeling is mutual. Okay. How awful. Mum's always crying with the way things are. I don't know why she married a man like that. Look at how late it's gotten. It's time for me to go back to my bedroom. We'll have to chit-chat later. Good luck on the case, Mr. Great Investigator Inaba. Thanks. Yeah, but the wife is definitely a suspect, because why would she call an investigator on this? Like, for what ends is there? Obviously there would have to be some sort of purpose behind it. Good. And somebody... Yeah, Mr. Samato, may I have a moment of your time? Certainly, sir. Do you need my assistance with something? Where were you and what were you doing at 11 PM last night? From the bags of your eyes, I suspect you wasn't in bed, because looking at those eyes of yours, it looks like you should have been in bed long before 11 PM. Anyways, let's move on. I was doing absolutely nothing in particular, sir. You need to give a more accurate alibi. After I finished my work cleaning up the estate, I just went to my bedroom for the night, as I normally do, sir. Really now? Yes, sir, believe me, sir, I didn't see anyone, no one at all, and I didn't go to anyone's bedroom. You're just giving yourself away there. I don't recall asking those questions. Indeed. That you didn't, sir. Forgive me, sir. Is there anything else you needed? No, that'd be all. Thank you for your time. Was it just me, or was Miss Sasamato seriously shaking like a leaf there? She was indeed. Conversely to what she said, Miss Sasamato definitely met with someone that night and had entered their room. Why is she trying to hide it then? That's something we'll have to question her again later when we find some evidence to this. In the meantime, I'll keep this detail in mind. Yes, the naive ones usually spill a beans easily. The most easiest because they're probably not the best at trying to hide a poker face. Mr. Ishihara, may I speak with you for a moment? You may. What is it that you want to talk about, sir? Where were you and what you were doing at 11 PM last night? At 11 PM, I was in the kitchen making preparations for tomorrow's morning's breakfast. Were you alone? Yes, sir. I always perform my duties unassisted. Did you happen to run into or see anyone during that time? No one comes to mind. Everyone usually stays in their respective rooms around that time. In other words, you have no alibi? I'm afraid so, sir. I thank you for your time. No problems at all, sir. I'm just going to go ahead and stab you in the back when you least expect it. Right, let's go and see the gardener. Hello, Mr. Kurita? May I have a moment? Sure, what do you need, sir? Where were you and what were you doing at 11 PM last night? What was I doing last night? At the time I was sleeping comfortably in my bedroom. Early to bed and early to rise, you know. And can you think of anything else I should know? Anything else? Let's see. Nope, not really, sir. Very well then. Thank you for your time. Not suspect at all. But then again, could the least suspect looking be the ones that did it? Maybe they have an art of not only looking innocent on the outside, but on the inside they're playing cool too. Basically, anybody could be a murderer in this case. So let's look at the guests up here. Miss Anatomy, Miss Saimasi, may I have a moment of your time? Huh? What now? We don't have time for this. Where were you and what were you both doing at 11 PM last night? Why the hell do I have to tell you any of that? I must confirm everyone's alibi. Is why. But you're trying to accuse me of killing my old man? I am asking everyone the same question. If you've done nothing wrong, then you have nothing to hide. I was in my own room sleeping. Yuki and I were drinking until about 10 PM. I must have passed out or whatever sometime around there. As for me, well, you already heard Natsumi. After he passed out, I headed back to my guest room and went to sleep. In other words, both of you don't have an alibi for that time? Are you deaf? Didn't you hear a word we said? You don't believe us. What's your problem? You second-rate as being. Okay, everyone, settle down. Miss Anatomy, Miss Shimatsu. It's not that Mr. Inaba doesn't believe you. He was trying. Shut up. We've had enough of you guys. Let's go, Anatomy. Yeah, babe. We don't need this blank. Hey, detective. No matter what anyone says, I'm not the killer, so don't do anything that you would regret later, okay? Bloody rich people. Heard you loud and clear. What's their problem? I have nothing more to say, sir. Are you sure now, little one? Are you sure you have nothing else to say? Their bathroom. Excuse me, officer. I'd like to investigate the crime scene a little more. I apologize, but we're in the process of ensuring that the descendant is safely transported. I ask that you please wait a little longer. Oh well, hey, Miss Inaba, let's make sure we gather all the information we need from residents in the meantime. Yes, most certainly. Mrs. Sakaki, may I have a moment of your time? Can I help you with something? May I ask where you were and what you were doing at 11 PM last night? I see you were gathering alibis to help solve the case. Very well, during that time I believe I was sleeping. Thank you, madam. Also, I noticed that Mr. Sakaki's room was directly across from yours. Did you happen to hear any sort of suspicious noises during that time? Honestly, I did not. Unless it happens to be an extremely loud noise, but there's no way you could hear anything from here. I see. Also, did you notice anything out of the ordinary lately? Nothing that comes to mind at the moment, but if I record anything, you'll be the first to know. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time, madam. Yes, we will not be using the S button to skip text. Otherwise, what's the purpose of this Let's Play? But then again, if you're going to look for those endings, like a second time around that you're playing through the game and you don't have to go through all that text, then, yeah, I can understand what you mean, but I love a story, you know. I love story hunting. Right, let's go around in an opposite clockwise scenario. Hi there. Mr. Sakaki, may I speak to you for a moment? Yes, detective? Where were you and what were you doing at 11 PM last night? Questioning for alibis, are we? In that case, I was in my room reading during that time. Is there anyone who can confirm that alibi? No, I'm afraid not. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary lately? Nothing in particular, sir. Very well then, thank you for your time. Well, you're okay. You're okay. Even though you look like somebody who's a bit snobbish, you're actually the more sensible one out of the two eldest brothers. The eldest one can... well, honestly, a quick demise is not good enough for him. Along with his partner, Mrs. Sakura. May I have a moment of your time? Or was it Miss? Oh my, do you need something? Where were you and what were you doing at 11 PM last night? Last night? Oh, I was already asleep around that time last night. Why'd you ask? No specific reason. Also, did you notice anything out of the ordinary lately? Notice anything? Now that you mention it, I've noticed that Mother's been getting a lot of bruises lately. Bruises? Yes, due to Mother's age, her frail body bruises fairly easily from contact. I sometimes help her with changing clothes and such, so I notice her bruises then. And can you think of anything else I should know? Anything else? No, sorry, nothing comes to mind, sir. Very well, then. Thank you for your time. A little one. Miss Akini, may I have a moment of your time? What do you want? Where were you and what you were doing at 11 PM last night? Oh gosh, I feel like I'm on a rewind at this time. Excuse you? Oh, I see, you're checking alibis, is that it? That's correct. If you have to know, I was in my room last night writing up my essay, and I was by myself the whole time. There, satisfied? Gosh, you are so rude. There's not a satisfactory alibi in the slightest. Of course, whatever you say. Look, you're not going to find one person under this roof who can provide a better alibi for that time. So let's get real here, okay? Duly noted. And can you think of anything else I should know? Even if it seems irrelevant, anything can help. If you want to go digging that badly, then like 3 years ago, Dad was involved in a terrible car accident. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, but he was hit by a drunk driver. It was pretty bad. It left Dad seriously injured and the car he was driving was totaled as well. We were almost certain that Dad wouldn't pull through, thinking he was going to die. It kind of drove the family into a state of panic. In the end, Dad made a full recovery. However, he refused to eat with us since the incident. That's a real there's a real sudden change to be making. Is it possible that Mr. Sakaki has suffered some emotional trauma from a car accident? Dunno. Dad honestly isn't the sort of person to let such things get to him. That's just the way he is. Anyway, ever since then, those two personally take Dad's meals over to him. Can you think of anything else to add? Anything else other than that? No, not really. Very well then, thank you for your time. Well, you're supportive in your own little ways, despite being a really rude person. That's what I was meant to say, for goodness sakes. Last but certainly not least, the character that I suspect that will survive this total chaos. Aoi, may I speak to you about yesterday? What do you want to speak to me about, Mr. Inaba? Where were you last night and what were you doing at 11 o'clock last night? At 11 o'clock? I was sleeping at the time. 9 o'clock is usually my bedtime. My big brother always reads me a story until I fall asleep. Thank you. It looks like you are a really good little sister to your family. Yes, I am. I'm also personally in charge of waking everyone up in this house. I call it my rise and shine treatment. Since I always wake up first thing in the morning, I take it upon myself to go to everyone's rooms to wake them up. The rest of my brothers and sisters are always so busy with their work, they need me to take care of them. Wow, that's amazing, Aoi. It's the least I could do to help out. And if there's ever a chance that any of you three are planning on having a sleepover with us, I'll make sure you all get Aoi's rise and shine treatment too. Hehe, that's so cute. Thank you for the offer, Aoi. Oh, fun fact. Aoi's birthday in the game is the day after my birthday. Don't think of anything for that though. Oh wait, so let's see. Everyone has been investigated, so what is left in this scenario? Okay. I need to go back and do a more thorough investigation of Rindo's room. I should double check on anything I wasn't able to examine in detail before. Good, so we've got everyone's alibis, however you want to call it. We've got that. I got word from Inspector Harima. We don't mind you examining the crime scene however you like, but please take care to use gloves, sir. Understood. Of course, I will use the gloves. One of these desk drawers is locked with a PIN code. Looks like it needs 5 digits. I haven't seen anything around with 5 digits on it. Look, I found a memo attached to the bottom of the desk. It looks like it is a hint to the PIN code. You're right, let's read what it has to say. Your gaze of gracefulness watches me with gentleness. Think of me as a prodigy. And what answer can I possibly have to your modesty? That sounds like something straight out of a novel, doesn't it? Do you think those capital letters are possibly a clue to the PIN code? I see there are 5 terms capitalized, but this doesn't tell us what they are converted to in number. Just what could these words mean? Maybe someone from within the family would understand its cryptic meaning? Obtained hint memo. Find a PIN code and unlock the drawer in that desk. Great, we've got ourselves a puzzle to solve here. Right, so let's just talk to everyone and see what they can do with all this. Let's start with the mother first. Oh, okay, maybe just go to the correct room to begin with. Can I help you with something? Miss, does this memo mean anything to you? No, I don't really quite understand it. I apologize for not being able to help you. That's alright, thank you, ma'am. I have nothing more to say, sir. Oh, okay, you're just going to be like that, huh? Yes, may I help you with something, Mr. Inaba? Ayo, does this memo mean anything to you? No, I'm sorry, I don't quite understand it. Thank you for trying. Yes, think long and hard. What? Miss Akini, does this memo mean anything to you? Let's see here. Nope, a whole lot of garbage, gibberish to me. Is that all you wanted? That's all, sorry for intruding. Even though you kind of given us a bit of help, you're still rude to the core. Is there anything I can help you with, sir? Does this memo mean anything to you? No, but there's like a small Is there a script from a novel? Other than that, it doesn't mean anything to me. I see. Do you need something? Does this memo mean anything to you? I'm sorry. It all seems like balderdash to me. I see. Great. Then there are these two. What? You still want to doubt me? Oh, goodness sakes. Now what? Does this memo mean anything to you? Well, give it here. Nah, it means jack to me. I see. Oh gosh, why does half the people in this family need to be so selfish and rude? Bloody heck. What about the gardener? I'm always spending my time here gardening, so I don't know how much help I can be in the investigation, sir. I completely butchered that sentence up. Don't need to leave a mansion, of course. Anybody? Oh, what about the Okay, maybe nobody has given any helpful clues, except the fact that it's from a novel. Novel. Anything around here that could be a novel. Maybe it's just my imagination, but I doubt that there is something in mind when it comes to these scenarios in the game which will allow me to be able to solve this very cryptic, very silly puzzle. Well, it's not the translator's fault. They can only do what has been written down onto the game. But I do wish that the developer just, I don't know, put something in. So I remember that in the previous game, that one or two puzzles just didn't have any clues to them whatsoever. Like, literally none. It's just, you know, just stabbing a dog. Let's see, 1 plus 2. Let's see now. Yeah, the actual answer you need to put in is 99. But yet, that's the only hint you get. I've talked to everyone here. I believe. Did I talk to you? I did talk to the gardener, yeah. Why is that room highlighted though? Why is that a room that needs to be highlighted? So the pin code is... I have no clue! Literally none. There are no clues around here. Novel. Is there any sort of novels within the entire building? Let's do a thorough search of the building and see if there's anything related to a novel. Those capitalized words look really familiar somehow. Whoa, really? Ah, that's right. Those short, specific meanings of the words remind me of the stuff about language of flowers that the gardener keeps blabbering on about. Ah, like how each flower has a meaning. Yeah, maybe you should go take a look at his room. I bet he's got a book somewhere about the language of flowers. Thank you. You're the one person I did not ask, and I don't know why I didn't ask you. I was thinking, let's go top to bottom about these novels. You know, some of these rooms do have books about novels. Obviously, no titles are mentioned, but it just the genre themselves are novels. Anyways, let's move on. So, where is his room? 3rd floor. Krita. I do want to read it. So, gracefulness, modesty, wasn't it? So, hip memo, gracefulness, gentleness, think of me, prodigy, modesty. It seems like the memo is the order, but the where they're placed, I believe, is the number of where they are on here. Goodness sakes, developer, why do you have to make these puzzles so cryptic? left to right on each row. Oh, I struggle with puzzles most of the time, and riddles, especially riddles. Riddles that don't make any sense. Yep. Feel free to take a look at it. We have compiled the names, ages, and birth orders of family members. Right. So would the family members, so would it be from top to bottom of who is okay? Still no closer. And it's written in a numerical way, birthday, so it's the month and the day and the year. This would be so hard to write a walkthrough. Yes, I am looking at a walkthrough because this is honestly just the only thing I can do now. Okay, this is a medical record. It is! May I take a look at it? Of course. See anything interesting? Yes, this is Mr. Sakaki's medical record from 3 years ago. 3 years ago? That was when Mr. Sakaki was involved in a car accident. Indeed, this medical record indicates the injury that Mr. Sakaki sustained resulted in radial nerve palsy, also known as wrist trauma. Okay, before anyone just puts down in the comments below, I have, like, I'm not making excuses. I have a terrible time trying to understand riddles. So if anybody out there just thinks that they are a total smart-ass, just remember that not everyone has your skill sets in life. So just drop the hassle in the comments. Just don't do that. Just don't drop anything nasty or anything like that. I get it on a day-to-day basis from people who literally don't understand what the word empathy is. What's that? It is a condition that affects the radial nerve which controls movements and feeling in the wrist and hand. In short, your nerves suffer paralysis and will numbness. And in this case, it results in extreme difficulties in being able to use their hands normally when doing daily activities. In other words, you're saying that Mr. Sakaki has been unable to use his hands for 3 years? More or less, yes. Wait, didn't you mention previously that the will he left behind was completely handwritten? Mr. Inaba, how would he be able to write it in his condition? Speaking of, when you mentioned the news to everyone, not one person brought up Mr. Sakaki's condition. It's as if no one, not even his family, seemed to know he wasn't able to use his hands. This is probably the justification as to why for 3 long years he has avoided contact with his family. The entire reason he's been avoiding his family and not even eating meals with them was in order to hide his medical condition? The probability is indeed very high. The question now is, why did he feel like he had to hide the fact he couldn't use his hands? For several times when I had the chance to meet with Mr. Sakaki, my impression every time was that he was an extremely strict and prideful man. His pride would never allow him to show such weakness, not even something that would affect his well-being, to his own family. He was sure they would never know. Take a look at all of these documents on his desk. There are many recent ones here that are all handwritten and bearing his signature. Furthermore, they all appear to have the exact same penmanship. If we are to believe Mr. Sakaki, then these are all his genuine handwriting. This may be the work as one of those are. A person who signs documents on behalf of Mr. Sakaki, except this person can also replicate his handwriting. Kind of like someone has been actually writing as him for the past 3 years? Most certainly. So that means the holographic will was a self-serving act conducted by the person assigned by Mr. Sakaki. Without his consent? Precisely, there's a good chance that our killer is this person. So you're saying Miss Sakura is actually Mr. Sakaki's agent? So basically killed his father and wrote himself into the inheritance in his handwriting. It's far too early to say. There are people other than Miss Sakura who could be that. And they may have had a hand in guaranteeing that Miss Sakura will receive the inheritance for motives unknown. It appears that we still have more investigating to do. The plot thickens. Rindo's medical record. Sirs, madam, dinner has been prepared. I am here to escort you to the dining room. What? It's that late already? We were so engrossed with the investigation I didn't even notice the time. I guess we should all head home right after dinner. On the contrary, the madam insists that you all stay for the night. She has made preparations for you to have your own rooms here. Mr. Inaba, what do you think? Should we all stay for the night? It would be rude to refuse a generous offer from a client, especially after she went to such lengths to accommodate us. I wonder if this could be an omen. Don't even joke about that. This way, please. Are we in the other two guest rooms? So, Mr. Investigator, how goes the investigation? It's nothing you should be worrying yourself over. You didn't figure out a damn thing, did you? I can't say at this point in time. Yep, not a goddamn thing. Nothing's gonna change the fact that the old man bit the bullet. What matters most of all here is that No, it's not, you stupid, selfish... Damn, I want to strangle you. Natsumi, dear, did you forget what I said earlier today? Until solid evidence is presented, we will honour that will. Hey, humour me for a moment. There's no humour here. Let's say one of little Miss Beneficiary here were to die suddenly in a tragic accident. Wouldn't everything default to the... Will you shut up? Hold on, what the heck are you trying to imply, Natsumi? But if I'm not wrong, am I? Since the older man's no more... Oh god. So they natural for every... No, it does not! Clever, so all I have to do is murder my eldest brother, therefore everything would go to me. Whoa, did I hear you correctly? Did you just confess in front of all these nice people to premeditate murder? I was merely reiterating what you said, minus the self-censorship. Still, I must confess the thought is more appealing than the inheritance being passed down to you. Wouldn't you agree, my dear brother? Say that again to my face, I dare you. Children, that is enough, we have guests. My sincere apologies, mother. Yeah, sorry or whatever. God, you're so rude. No, it's just the people. Well, some of them anyways. Where's the youngest daughter to calm things down? Is it hot in here or is it just me? All of the animosity in the air is leaving a bad taste in my mouth. Well, at least you can eat. I lost my appetite. Do you have an upset stomach, Nina? I can get you something if you'd like. No thanks, Doctor. I'm fine, really. It can be hard to tell when she's just playing along or being completely serious. If you say so. Oh man, I am stuffed. And what were you saying about you losing your appetite back there? Shh! Mr. Inaba. Well, I think we gathered as much information as we can for the day. Shall we retire to our rooms for the night? Since you two are sharing the same room tonight, you'll find me upstairs on the second floor of the guest room next to Miss Shimatsu's. Call on me if you need anything. I'll keep that in mind. See you tomorrow. I won't lock you up in some cabinet, or have you put down in some cabinet by accident and not get you out. Have a good night, Nina. Yep, sweet dreams, you guys. Now then, shall we go to our guest room? Sure, I believe our guest room is on our right-hand side, right? Yes. Are you sure there's nothing we can do in terms of talking to others? Like, really? Anybody to talk to? Oh, maybe not. Is it okay for me to use the bath? Yes, you certainly may. We were also thinking about taking a bath as well, since our bathtub is rather large. Would you like to share a bath? That sounds really nice, thank you. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Let's all... No, I'll pass. I'll go to head back to my bedroom. Yeah, you should join us. No thanks, I'm fine. I don't want to take a stupid bath with you guys in the first place. Besides, I'm already 50 years old. I'll be in high school next year, you know. You're in middle school? But you're so small. I honestly thought you would still be in grade school. Nina, why would you say such a thing? Poor him. I'm sure Nina didn't mean any harm by what she said, but it's okay, Doctor. Further explain, it only makes it hurt worse with a kid. Quite indeed. I just want to see what everyone is up to. These two cutie pies are on their own adventure. Nobody is out to play. Is it that one? Ah, everyone's here. Since Father passed away, my workload has been increased. Do you think you can lend me a hand? Like now, but I'm still in the middle of writing this essay. But you are the only one in this family that I can depend on. Besides, I am also doing my best to juggle the family business and university life, am I not? Well, just because you can do it doesn't mean everyone else can. So you're admitting that you're incompetent when compared to our genius brother? If you're only going to antagonize us, just get out. Man, everyone here is so damn touchy. And here I was thinking we can finally set aside our differences and become a real family. We can without you. Don't these siblings ever get tired of fighting amongst themselves? Yeah, probably. I am most disappointed with how this family interacts with one another. Is it this one? No. Oh, it's the shared guest room. I just want to see how everyone else was faring. Right, let's go down here. And I know I'm not very good at explaining myself. You're already there? Bloody heck. Why'd you get in there so quick? I think your bed is over there. Alright. I know it's here. Hold on. Before we do anything, I've forgotten to save us all this time. There we go. Go to sleep. I should get some sleep. Nighty night with the lights on. Mr. Inaba, it's time to rise and shine. Oh, I forgot about this. Oh, is that you? Yes, sir. Good morning. And Dr. Haruma? Dr. Haruma got up earlier to do a checkup on my mother. Ah, yes, that's right. You have the last one to wake up, Mr. Inaba. Would you please come join us in the dining room? Breakfast is already ready. Of course, I'll be right there. Aren't you just a little fun ball of sunshine? Oh, Mr. Inaba, you're late, sleepyhead. I may have been this time, but need I remind you who the one usually running late is between us? But I won't do that again, at least not under this roof. Aoi here woke me up nice and early. I'm happy I could be of some help. We appreciate your hard work, Aoi. Look at these children and their manners. Unlike a certain someone I know, you could learn from their examples, Ayamura. I'm already more than useful enough. Oh my, everyone's here already. I apologize for keeping you all waiting. Now that everyone is present, we'll bring today's breakfast. Wow, I like waking up to this early morning. Every morning. Impressive indeed. If I woke up to this every morning, I would pack on a few pounds in no time. Oh man, I can imagine you would look like such an old man with a big old pot belly. Oh, let me record. Come to think of it, it was mentioned earlier that Mr. Sakaki always ate in his own room. Were his meal portions this size as well? No, sir, I had to prepare a meal made specifically for Master Rindo. When Sasamato and I would bring his meals, the Master would tell me what he'd like done throughout the day, as well as instruct me on tasks he'd like accomplished. After the master was finished with his meal, you still look tired. I returned to his room to bring back the dishes and wash them. And each and every time you managed to break at least one plate. Yeah, and I am terribly sorry about that, sir, but I have been improving. At least I've been breaking fewer plates lately. I think the thing is that you shouldn't be breaking any plates at all. Mr. is a fine example of being a veteran in his line of work. Now then, shall we eat? Of course. Ah, my man, your food is crazy good. Thank you for your kind words, sir. You seem to be in an oddly cheerful mood, Natsumi. Really? You can tell, Akini. Well, you are right on the money, then. I'm in a hella good mood today. At least say it without that disgusting, smarmy grin on your face. Makes me want to smack it. You got quite a mouth on you, sister. You want to come over here and show... For goodness sakes. Maybe you should be wanting to shut your mouth, Natsumi. Sakura, something matter? You haven't touched your food. I'm just not that hungry right now. This ain't good, Sakura. I don't like seeing my baby sister go hungry. You gotta eat. Oh, alright. I can't really blame her for not eating. Her father did just pass away yesterday, and now she's the sole heiress to her family's legacy. You're right, Ayamura. What's strange to me is that everyone else here is able to eat just fine despite the recent tragedy. Oh boy, I'm stuffed. I hope you don't get an upset stomach from eating too much. Aw, thanks for your concern, Doctor. Now then, what's on the plate for today? Well then, there is yet more that needs a proper critical eye. So we should go over everything once more. Mr. Inaba, Miss Ayamura, Dr. Uruma. Those two. Can we help you with something, mister? I want to inform you that we will be taking food to everyone's room for lunch. It will be the same as this morning, sandwiches. I hope you look forward to it. Ah, thank you. Please let me know if you need help with anything. Thank you, mister. I have everything that requires my attention. I must take my leave. I have things, okay. I should look at the sentence more before just reading them out. Then let's start conducting the investigation. In due course. Mr. Inaba, can I have a moment with you? Yes, of course. How may I help you, madam? Actually, could the three of you come to my room? I have something I need to show you. Understood. Thank you. I truly appreciate it. I wonder what it could be. I wonder if it's related to the case. It has to be. Let's head there as soon as we can. Go to her room, which would be on the second floor. What would you like help with? Thank you for coming. Please take a seat on the couch. So, what was the thing that you wanted to show us, madam? It's this letter. A letter? A rather old one from the looks of it. May I read it? By all means. I will never forget for the rest of my life the treatment that I've endured at the hands of your husband, Rindo. That is the reason why I am intent on enacting revenge against that wretched man you love, the man who wronged me. The sadness, the frustration, the anger, there is nothing I want more than for you to suffer through those exact same emotions as I have. Did you know that your faithful Rindo had an affair with... Okay. That disgusting husband of yours demanded... Okay. But I didn't listen. I gave birth anyway. I gave birth to a set of beautiful twins, a boy and a girl. They are the most precious children. They are my children. Even if that detestable man's blood flows through them, I will shower them with all the love I can muster. These children are my responsibility, and I will raise them as a single mother. I will make sure they never grow up to become the kind of person their father was. Now that you know what kind of monster you are living with, how does that make you feel? If you even feel one shred of emotion, then my revenge is fulfilled. Never forget my anguish. suffer like I did. K. Oba? Who's this person? This is, according to the letter, your husband allegedly had an affair with Miss K. Aoba. Yes, my husband had cheated on me once a long time ago with that miss. I didn't know about it, much less when his mistress gave birth to twins. Until this letter changed that. Miss Oba, his mistress, was actually one of the former housekeepers we had many... Oh gosh. One day she just resigned out of the blue. No doubt the result of her affair with my husband was the real cause of her resignation, because I received this letter a few years after she left. And had your husband seen this letter? Yes, he had seen it. About Miss Elba, do you know what she is doing right now? Actually, for what I heard, she was found dead after her horse caught on house caught on fire. I'm so sorry about that. She was the only casualty. How awful. What of the twins that were mentioned in her letter? I don't know what happened to them, as I've never met them. I see. The reason why I brought this all up was because it relates to my initial reasoning for calling you, Detective. Remember when I requested for you to take on an infidelity investigation? Well, every night for the past 3 years, my husband has been meeting with someone in secret. I want to believe in him, I truly do. But I have turned a blind eye to this for long enough. I want to know the truth. I have been dealing with anxiety ever since then, so when Dr. Hiruma has spoken about you two, I knew I had to make the call. Is that so? Rest assured, you can leave this matter to us, madam. As for the investigation up to this point, I am fairly certain your husband was not having another affair. Huh? Are you sure, Mr. Inaba? In the course of my investigation to ascertain the circumstances involving his death, I have not found any evidence that links to him committing... Okay. Therefore, I have come to the conclusion that it's highly unlikely he was having an affair or anything of the sort. If what you're saying is really true, then my Rindo, Oh, thank God. I don't think my heart could take it anymore if he did betray me again. Oh, thank you from the bottom of my heart. You are a godsend, Mr. Inaba. It was my pleasure, madam. For your husband's sake, I will expose his killer without fail. Again, thank you. I don't know what I would have done without you. I'll let you hold on to this letter until then. Revenge letter. Oh dear me, lots of letters. Lots of little timing. Okay, Mr. Inaba. I have to ask a burning question. Since when did you figure out about Mr. Sakaki's affair? I wasn't brought up to speed about this. To be honest, I didn't figure anything out. What? So you just flat out lied to Mrs. Sakaki? I thought I didn't click it. I'm sorry, folks. Oh yeah, I believe Mrs. Sakaki said it started about 3 years ago. And what Alice conceded at that time. It was that was when Mr. Sakaki was involved in a car accident, which resulted in him having radial nerve palsy where he couldn't use his hands. Good work, you're both catching on. Since Mr. Sakaki couldn't use his hands and didn't want this fact brought to light, he started to train his blank to replicate his handwriting so they could write on his behalf, and to ensure that no one under his roof was aware of his actions. What do you think he did in order to limit his risk of being caught? Ah, he'd make sure to do it late at night when no one would notice. Precisely, I can't declare with 100% certainty, but it's exactly as you said, Ayamura. So that is why I gave Mrs. Sakaki that peace of mind. I think that is for the best. Despite Mrs. Sakaki putting on a brave face, I think this entire ordeal has caused considerable emotional trauma for her. This is one of the rare times where you can be considerate, Mr. Inaba. What are you saying? I'm always considerate towards the well-being of my clients. I don't know about all that. Why are you making that face to me? See? This is Mr. Inaba's true colors. Don't be absurd. It's just my way of showing appreciation. Appreciation, more like tough love. You know, I believe it's time we return to the investigation. How about we start by waiting on the first floor for the police to arrive? I hope they come back with some new information that can help us. That's a good idea. We can do that. And it is the morning. Oh, dog. Was the breakfast to your liking, sir? It certainly was. Look, I'm busy here thinking. Don't talk to me. Another rude little girl. Excuse me. I love that at certain times we cannot use I've forgotten what it was called now. Fast map function. Do you enjoy barging into people's rooms unannounced? Do you enjoy being a thickhead? I think you might do actually. Just thinking about that now. I think you might enjoy being a complete nuisance. Ah, looks like the police have arrived. Good morning everyone, darling. Good morning, honey. Good morning to you too, Inspector. I bet you have some new stuff to tell us. Has there been any new developments, Inspector? Yes, we have the results of Mr. Sakaki's autopsy. His cause of death is neck compression from being strangled with a rope at 11 PM on the 9th. We're definitely looking at a murder here, as we thought. Also, there are traces of sleeping pills found in his system. Sleeping pills? Not enough to contribute to his death though. Someone could have used these sleeping pills to render Mr. Sakaki unconscious, then strangled him to death with the rope after. I think the probability is high. Then we need to find out who has access to sleeping pills. Looks like it's time to go question everyone again. Good. Please keep me updated. I'll be over at the crime scene. If there are any questions, you know where to find me. Will do. Thanks for your help, Inspector. Find out who is... Oh, goodness sakes. These notes fly by too quickly. Let's see. Must confirm if anyone in the mansion is currently taking sleep medication. I did notice the eldest daughter being somewhat tired during the breakfast. Is that why she wasn't eating anything? Excuse me, I have something I'd like to ask you. Do you take sleeping medication? Sleeping medication? Well, I can sleep fine even without camomaline in my tea. And do you know of anyone who does in this house? No one comes to mind, sir. I see. Thank you for your time. Good, good. What do you need this time? Do you take sleeping medication? Sleeping medication? No, I don't. And do you know of anyone who does in this house? Yeah, I do. Our housekeeper, Mrs. Samato, she takes sleeping pills. Mr. Samato, I see. Thank you for your time. Anything else you need, Mr. Great Investigator Inaba? Not at the moment. Okay, if you can think of anything else you need, feel free to ask me. Yes, I shall ask with due haste if anything comes to mind. You're not here? Oh yes, of course, the fast map. You. Yes, is there anything I can help you with? Yes, in fact, there's something I need to ask of you. Do you take any sleeping medication? Sleeping medication? Why, yes I do. I take sleeping pills, sir. And are you still currently taking them? Yes, I still take some, sir. For about 3 months or so now, I've had terrible bouts of insomnia. So I've been recently taking sleeping pills to help me sleep. Actually, I would really appreciate it if you could please take this bit of information to yourselves. I don't want to worry the others. Don't worry. Your information is safe with me, madam. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much, sir. Before I go, may I ask where you keep your sleeping pills? I keep it in a vanity table drawer of my quarters. Is this drawer always locked? No, it usually isn't, sir. And one last question before I let you go. Have you noticed anything unusual with your bottle of sleeping pills lately? Yes, you are correct. But I don't know how you knew that. It was about 3 days ago I noticed that some of my sleeping pills went missing, sir. But it could be possible that I may have made a mistake and accidentally took too many one day or something of that nature, sir. I see. Thank you for your time. Of course, if you'll excuse me. So, Miss Sasamoto was taking sleeping pills. Yes, and it's possible that it was her sleeping pills that were taken from her room. It seems we have likely found the origin of the sleeping medication. But it's possible that there are other people who are also taking sleeping pills. We should keep asking around just in case. Indeed. Search every nook and cranny. Miss Sakura, do you have a moment? Oh, is there something I can help you with, Mr. Inaba? There is something I'd like to ask you about. Do you take sleeping medication? Sleeping medication, does that help someone that's struggling with sleep? I think that about answers that question, doesn't it? Actually, I'm sorry to change the subject so suddenly, but it's Inaba. What's the matter? There's something that I have to show you. Oh, what is it? It's better if you take a look at it, if you please. Relinquish your inheritance or your life is forfeit. This is a death threat. Yeah, it definitely is. So it's what I thought it was. Miss Sakura, this is really serious. Someone is threatening to kill you. That's exactly what Shun told me. Who's Shun? Oh my, sorry, please excuse me. I meant Mr. Ishihara, you see. Whoever his name is. That's right, we never did learn Mr. Butler's first name. If you were to call him that so casually, you two must be pretty close then. Shun and I have known each other since I was in high school. Oh, is that so? Back in the old days we used to play together all the time. Lately though, he seems awfully preoccupied and hasn't paid as much attention to me. On top of that, he gets mad when I call him Shun, so I have to constantly remind myself to call him Mr. But sometimes it just slips out, you know. Oh my, why would he get mad over a silly thing like that, I wonder? Maybe it's a formality that you should be called by a title when in the workplace rather than always by your first name. Oh my, you know, you are right, I too wonder why. Ayamura, why are you emulating Miss Sakura? What is this? Is airheadedness suddenly contagious? How will we get so easily derailed from a conversation about a death threat? For now, let's bring this matter to Inspector Hayamura's attention and get Miss Sakura some police protection. Yes, I agree, that would be reassuring. Especially when we have a life at stake here. Oh my, I will have my bodyguard again. I haven't had one of those in such a long while, especially when I leave my house much. That's pretty impressive to have a bodyguard whenever you go out. As one would expect from the eldest daughter of the esteemed Sakaki family. Ouch. So, files. Tasks. Get Sakura Sakaki police protection. Request police protection from Inspector Hayamura. I want to check on the others first though. Beforehand though. So we are in this room. Excuse me, I have something I'd like to ask you, mister. Do you take sleep medication? Sleep medication, you say? No, I do not take them, sir. And do you know of anyone who does in this house? No, I can't say that I do, sir. I apologise for not being of more help. That is alright, thank you for your time. Indeed. You are always very helpful, butler. Excuse me, I have something I'd like to ask you. Do you take sleep medication? Why take it when alcohol is just as potent as a sleeping aid as a heck of a lot taste? Butcher this sentence again. Why take it when alcohol is just as potent a sleeping aid and a heck of a lot tastier? Okay, do you know of anyone who does in this house? Ha! Great powers of observation there, detective. You're telling me that you can't tell just by looking at people with that icy glare of yours? You should have already known my answer before you asked. Oh yeah, and my princess doesn't take them either. Saved you a trip, you can thank me later. Thanks, I appreciate it. We're still gonna ask her anyways. Anybody else on this floor? A majority of them. You. Excuse me, I have something I'd like to ask you, madam. Do you take sleep medication? No, I'm sorry, but I can't take sleep medication. It makes me feel lightheaded. And do you know of anyone who does in this house? I haven't heard of anyone in my family mentioning taking them, though if they hid the fact from me, then I wouldn't know. I see. Thank you for your time, madam. Come on. Come on. Come on. Who's that? Fair left. We're gonna ask the Rugrath. Hey Nina, AoE is begging to play a game of cards to pass the time. And 2 people aren't enough to get a game going, so what do you think? Would you like to play around with us? Card games? I really like to play, but I have an investigation to do. I don't mind if you go play. Don't worry, Mr. Inaba still has me. Are you sure? When I need you, I'll simply snap my fingers twice, so be ready to come running. Last I checked, I was your assistant, not your personal servant. What? What was that for? I'm so sorry, young master. Are you two okay? They are completely drenched. I am truly terribly sorry. I didn't mean to bump into you, young master. Oh well, not like this is anything new for us. So this happens pretty often. Just the other day, she tripped and landed a pie smack dab into his face. Compared to that, this is nothing. This does sound considerably worse. Young master, I must sincerely apologize for my clumsiness. Here, follow me and let me get your clothes changed. Let me go! Don't you dare touch me! Ib? What the? I'm able to change just fine on my own. So why don't you go ahead and help Mr. Inaba instead? I'm sorry, Nina. We'll have to play cards another time. Of course. As you wish, young master. I have never seen anyone react so intensely like that. What came over him? So, Mr. Inaba, would you please follow me upstairs? I'll go help. Okay. I heard quite a commotion. Is everyone here alright? It's you, mister. What happened here? My apologies, mister. I did it again. So that's a murder, actually. Would you please stay and clean up things here? Mr. Inaba, would you please come with me? You can use our shower facilities upstairs while I go dry your clothes for you. Yes, thank you. Wait here for a moment. I will fetch you some towels for you to dry yourself off with. Something about this feels fishy. Of course. So this is his room. I will need to broaden my search if I'm ever to find the killer. I should start searching through everyone's closets for any clues or information. Here, it appears his shirts and butler uniforms are straightened and hung meticulously. It's what one would expect just by looking at him. There is a butler's suit hanging there. Shirt hanging there. Bottom. Anything I need to take note of? Door handle. Like there's nothing of note. Nothing of note. There are plenty of practical books here. Worry-free living, the fundamentals of cooking, Kyo's tips to housekeeping, healthy habits, healthy life. Something tells me I might learn more if I just look through everyone's bookshelves. Maybe I can even find a journal of sorts. Whatever it is, I need to be thorough. For the recipes, Akashi's family's dinner table. There's a row of practicals here for self-help and improvement. One of them is titled Denshari, the Art of Decluttering. That sounds very specific for an art style. Row of practical books here for self-help. Fundamentals of cooking. Worry-free living. Healthy habits. Healthy life. There's also something wedged here between the books. It's titled Kyo's Tips to Housekeeping. Could this be someone's diary? Ah, there is something wedged there. That little red thing there. Good. Sorry to keep you waiting, sir. Here are your towels. Thank you. When you leave, the shower facilities will be right in front of you. It's normally for household staff use, so I hope that won't trouble you, sir. Once you start taking your shower, please leave your clothes outside. I'll go dry them off immediately. They should be ready by the time you are finished, sir. Will do. Still something seems fishy. Aside that now. Well, that was unpleasant to say the least. Mr. Inaba, how are you faring? Much better, now that he took care of me. That's good. Be sure to let me know as soon as possible if you experience any chills or anything of that sort. Thank you for your concern, Doctor. Should we go for items? Nothing of that caliber. Yes, I've still got them to ask about. After that incident, you have nothing to say about that? Fine. Excuse me, I have something I'd like to ask you, miss. Do you take sleep medication? What, sleep medication? No, I don't take anything like that. And do you know of anyone who does in this house? Hello, I don't live here, do I? Do you seriously already forget that? Whatever I throw you a bone, the only person I could speak for is my fiancé, and I've never seen him take any sort of medicine. I see. Thank you for your time. Rude. As always, rude. Anyone at the bar? Excuse me, I have something I'd like to ask of you. Do you take sleep medication? No, I do not take sleep medication. And do you know of anyone who does in this house? I'm sorry, but no one comes to mind, sir. I see. But thank you for your time. I doubt the little girl does as well, but we'll ask her anyways. Excuse me, I have something I'd like to ask of you. Do you take sleep medication? Does my beautiful face look so haggard that I have to rely on sleep medication? What do you think? No, it's not fair. I have to ask everyone this exact same question. Anyway, do you know of anyone who does in this house? I don't know of anyone that is for sure taking sleep medication. If you want my opinion, I would think the most likely person to take some would be my mom. I see, thank you for your time. Maybe bolsterous, but you certainly do give some information when it's due. What am I thinking? There's no way a little girl like Ao would be taking sleeping pills. Mr. Inaba, do you need something? No, actually. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Aoi. Oh yeah, I want to tell you all something. After breakfast this morning, there was a ton of snow outside, so I met a snowman. If you have the time, you should really go outside and see Mr. Snowman. He would love to meet my new friends. Okay, but only if we have time. Geez, Mr. Inaba, at least try to sound a little infused for the kid. We'll definitely make some time to check out Mr. Snowman, Aoi. I would love to meet him. Yay, thank you so much. What am I thinking? This child definitely wouldn't take sleeping pills. But we'd better ask him just in case. Them. Ask them just in case. You may never know. The least likely candidate could be the most likely person to do it. You may never know. Yep. What was that? Adequate alibi for that time of date. It appears Mr. Sakaki was put to sleep with sleeping pills. Yeah. Why does the Spectre have to have a husband? I really missed him. Really? You have to throw that curveball in? Inspector, I have a request for you. Oh, what do you need, mister? It's in regard to Miss Sakura. Don't worry, I heard you crystal clear. I'll personally escort Miss Sakura straight away. Thank you. We all can rest easy knowing she is in good hands. We asked everyone we can regarding the sleeping pills. Let's go back to my guest room to summarize everything we've learnt thus far. Sounds like a good plan to me. Go to your guest room to summarize the case. We'll do this and then we'll end off the episode. Guest room first. Oh, what was that? That sounded like a plate breaking. Who could have done it? It might have come from the dining room. Let's go. Who did it? Who did it? I don't see anything here. Maybe it's in the next room. There is. It's completely shattered. Yeah, and it looks like it was a teacup. Oh, and I see a small pool of clear liquid by it. Looks like it wasn't just the teacup that shattered, but also some kind of vial. The liquid seems to have come from the vial itself. Guys, don't you smell something strange? Don't breathe in, everyone. We should start ventilating this room immediately. What? Just do as he says. Yeah. Please, but both of you, wear these breathing masks for the time being. Yeah, sure. Thank you, Doctor. What on earth was that liquid? Judging from the distinctive odour, it was likely methanol alcohol. Methanol alcohol? We often see it used as fuel for alcohol lamps, correct? Yes, and even ingesting just as little as 2 tablespoons of methanol alcohol is enough to be fatal. Also, it's flammable and toxic, so just breathing in the fumes can cause symptoms such as headaches, nausea, and dizziness. This is a large part of the reason I suggested we ventilate immediately. Oh my god, then why was it here? To kill someone. It's the only reason I can think of. Do you think it's the same killer who murdered Mr. Sakaki? Are we dealing with a serial killer? Whoever the poisoner was, they made a blunder. Aside from that, I cannot say with any degree of certainty that this is the same criminal. Are you saying this poisoner could have been another killer with a different purpose? What in the world was that sound? It wasn't me, I didn't break anything, sir. You two, please put on these breathing masks. Is there a reason why we must wear these, sir? Apparently someone had dropped a vial of poison on the floor. The breathing masks are here so we won't breathe in the fumes. Poison? Are any of you injured or sick? We're fine, mister. When we came in, this teacup was already broken. That's good then. Sasimoto, we should clean this up immediately. Please be careful not to get this chemical in contact with your skin. It's also flammable, so refrain from using fire for now. Understood, sir. What about the kitchen, sir? Is it still safe to use? I believe it should be okay. We ventilated the area immediately. However, we don't know if the person responsible might have administered this poison elsewhere. So to take further precaution, I highly recommend not to use any food or ingredients that are already in the house. Yes, of course, sir. To be safe, I would completely change all of the tableware. And one last thing, in order to not stir a panic, I ask everyone here to please keep this incident a secret for now from the rest of the residents. Understood, sir. I will make all the necessary arrangements right after this. Oh, this teacup. Is something the matter? No, I am probably overthinking it. It's just that this teacup belongs to Miss Sakura. Oh, it's Miss Sakura's? So the poisoner specifically targeted Miss Sakura for the inheritance. Then they definitely had to be the same person who sent her the death threat. That seems most probable, doesn't it? I'm just glad that this incident was prevented before it even started. But I did wonder why they didn't follow through. Did they really make a mistake and drop the vial and teacup? Or did their conscience stop them? We can discuss that later, Nana. For now, Let's leave so we don't bother Mr. and Mrs. with their cleaning. Ah, yes, we should resume our original goal of going back to the guest room to summarize what we've learned thus far. Let's do that, Mister. Thank you for your help. We'll take care of it, madam. Leave this to us, madam. Hand over tableware while I'll take care of tonight's dinner. I think I'm starting to get a picture of, like, divergences within the game. Like, the endings. Now with that cleared up, we should summarize everything we've learned back at my guest room. Roger that. Is there anywhere else? Like any other places? The more we look over, that's the diary. Then there's this one. Look for any small books. But again, they could always just be in the same row but with a different colour. A diary in the butler's room. Any small ones here? I don't think so. No for that one. This will be the last one before I end off the episode. Not for that one. Nothing there. Nothing here. Nothing here. Nothing here. Nothing here. So there's only two so far, which have the small ones. These. And even with two boxes in are the ones we should really look out for. If there's only one box of text, then we don't need to be suspicious of them. Right. Go back to guest room. Cool. I think it's a good time to summarize everything we discovered on our second day of investigation. We have uncovered so much in a short period of time, I'll say. And that is why I have everything jotted down in my notes. So go ahead and ask me anything you need to refresh yourselves on. The revenge letter. The revenge letter to Mrs. Nadeshiko Sakaki. Mrs. Sakaki showed us the old letter written by former housekeeper Miss K. Aoba. Miss Aoba worked for family for a long time. Discloses her affair with Mr. Sakaki. She had twins, boy and girl. Miss Aoba later died in a house fire. Mrs. Sakaki never met Miss Aoba's children. Okay, about the sleeping pills. Got Mr. Sakaki's autopsy report, has sleeping pills in system. Perp killed Mr. Sakaki while he was unconscious. Who's taking sleeping pills? Mrs. Amato takes sleeping pills. She doesn't lock drawer where she keeps sleeping pills. Now Eleanor's a culprit, back to square one. Questioned everyone. Only Mrs. Amato takes sleeping pills. Death threat. Miss Sakura received death threats, demanded she gives up inheritance or she will die. Hard to guess who sent death threat. Asked Inspector Hayaruma for police protection. Miss Samato bumped into him. She actually spilled water all over him. He laughed it off at first. When she tried to help him, he had a violent outburst the moment she touched him. Not a normal reaction at all. decided to happen to him. Broken teacup. Found broken teacup next to vial in butler's pantry. Vial was filled with methanol alcohol. Poisoner made a blunder. Dropped teacup while trying to apply poison. The butler told us teacup belongs to Miss Sakura, me, Mr. Inaba, Dr. Hiruma, and butler, and she don't know why or how teacup or vial got broken. Did poisoner try to kill Miss Sakura for inheritance? Finish going over Ayamura's notes. If any of you want to look over my notes again, just say the word. Good work. It's a shame that we're still no closer to finding the killer. Yeah, that part never gets easy. I'm sorry to interrupt, but dinner's ready. Please come to the dining room as soon as you are finished, sirs and madam. We'll be right there. Is everyone now present? Good, then let's get ready to eat dinner. Somehow our dishes are different. Has the tableware been recently changed? That is correct, mister. I noticed that another one of the dishes was broken, therefore I arranged to change the entire set to have them match. That's pretty impressive if you're always on top of things, butler. Not like it'll matter. Sakura would just end up breaking another teacup again either way. Oh dear me, thankfully I haven't broken anything recently, Akini. I like to think that we have all broken at least one thing in our lifetime. Come now. Can't this talk wait until later? I don't want our food getting cold. Hey, my man, bring me some booze. As you wish, sir. Oh, I'm not sure if you noticed it yet, but we're trying to have a wholesome family dinner here. Do you have a personal problem with me having a bit of self-indulgence, my dear sister? Well, really not, but you've been unusually upbeat ever since this morning, Natsumi. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Let's just say that I've got a good feeling about all this. Good feeling, you say. By the way, when is that lousy detective gonna get out of my house? Lousy? Please be strong, Mr. Inaba. I call it as I see it, man. You've been investigating the case this whole damn time and you've done nothing but come up empty. I'm sorry that I'm a professional who prefers to not present inconclusive evidence to my clients. I'll let everyone know once everything is sorted. That's just legalize. Okay, as much as I hate to say this, the killer may have gotten away with that perfect crime. Please don't say that, mister. You will definitely solve this mystery and Inspector Hayamura will arrest the killer. We've got to catch him first. Natsumi, that's enough. Your crassiness have gone too far. You want to know what I think? That you should just shut the hell up. Anyway, it looks like this stupid detective won't be leaving anytime soon, just my luck. Yeah, it is kind of hatred, isn't it? Is it just me or has Mr. Natsumi's distaste for you turned into pure hatred? It'd be safe to say that it was venom from the very start. I'd be more alarmed if he suddenly respected me. Has this been what meals have been like here for you guys the entire time? Just once I'd like to have a cordial, quiet meal. Same here. Well guys, I'm going back with Miss Sakura to provide security cover. I appreciate all you've done for us, Inspector. If anything happens to you, dear, I'll come rush to your side immediately. I sincerely doubt that, Schnockums, but I appreciate your sentiment nonetheless. And with that, it's time for me to go back to my guest room. If anything bad happens, I'll be there in a flash. I sincerely doubt that. So just stay asleep. That's so mean. Don't worry, I fully understand. All I have to do is snap my fingers twice, right? I already told you that I'm your assistant, not your personal servant. Well, we're going to leave these things here for the moment, folks. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see each other in the next time of The Mystery Files of Detective Inaba No. 2. Have a good day and take care of yourselves.